Astrology reflects the sacred rhythms of the earth, and each month the sun brings a new astrological sign to the forefront. This is the framework of my Wheel of the Year, and in this video I'm going to share it with you and point you in the right direction to create your own. Welcome back to my YouTube channel if you're new around here. My name is Hannah Hawthorne and I'm Simply Witched. This is a video that I have put off making for a long time, mainly because it's not finished. But I realize this is never going to be finished because this is not a stagnant part of my practice. There is no being done. As I evolve, my Wheel of the Year is going to evolve. As my practice changes and my location changes and I enter new seasons of life. This is one of the reasons that I have outgrown the traditional Wiccan Wheel of the Year, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. So if that is you, or you just want to look more critically at your Wheel of the Year, I hope this video is helpful in your journey. The energy of each zodiac sign is reflected in the time of year it takes place, and it is spiritually intertwined with the human experience. The seasons all have lessons to teach us, and when we view the zodiac signs from a seasonal perspective, we can see how we live out the purpose of each one. Much of the information I am about to read you comes directly from my book, The Magic of Birthdays. If you're interested in deepening your practice in this way, I recommend it for further reading. It is available to purchase anywhere books are sold. Enjoy! Instead of the 8 traditional Sabbats, my Wheel of the Year is broken into 12 celebrations. Personal festivals that I have created to mark the sun traveling into each of the zodiac signs. The zodiac is a band of constellations that lie along the sun's ecliptic. You can think of this like the celestial highway that the planets drive through. It is divided into 12 zodiac signs, which take up 30 degrees each. The sun takes approximately 1 year to travel the zodiac and spends 4 weeks or 1 month per sign. Allow me to take you on a walk through the constellations. Aries, March 21st to April 19th. The sun enters Aries on the vernal equinox, which marks the beginning of spring. Depending on where you live, you might not experience the seasons the way I'm about to describe, but astrology is a symbolic system. Aries is a new beginning, regardless of whether it marks the beginning of physical spring. And don't worry, we will talk about that aspect of creating your Wheel of the Year very soon. There is a newfound lightness in the air that awakens the earth after its long winter rest. Aries is the leading sign of the zodiac and the turbulent initiation into springtime. It doesn't have the patience to wait for the perfect ice-free day. It pushes forth from under the melting snow. When the sun transitions through Aries, work spells for authority, rebirth, new life, challenges, courage, new beginnings, protection, and willpower. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. The land is coming alive, and the fields are ripe for planting. Taurus is the gravitas of spring, a time of procreation and celebrating life. The warm rain and wind kiss the rich brown soil, awaken the seeds, and nurture them as they grow. When the sun transitions through Taurus, work spells for assistance, fertility, growth, careers, family, financial security, healing, health, marriage, material gain, and stability. Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. What was green seemingly just a moment before has transformed into a vibrant array of color. From the rain-washed earth, the seeds we planted have blossomed into beautiful flowers. There is a playfulness to nature in the sky, woodlands, and rivers. Spring is bubbling up to summer, and Gemini carries us through that transition. When the sun transitions through Gemini, work spells for activity, communication, divination, education, travel, solving issues, and resolving conflict. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. The sun enters Cancer and reaches its peak on the summer solstice. From this day forward, it is once again time to bid farewell to the sun and anticipate the return of the gentle darkness. The crops have ripened, and the leaves on the trees are full and emerald green. Opening toward the sunlight and breathing in the hot, aromatic air. The heat of the day is exhausting. the kind of weather that invites a deep calm and restfulness. The streams have begun to run dry, and the earth yearns for rain to quench the soil. Ironically, in a time when it is the most precious commodity, Cancer is a water sign. When the sun transitions through Cancer, work spells for comfort, intuition, domestic life, home, love, prosperity, and protection. Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. The earth is thriving at its most vibrant peak and celebrating the bounty of the land. The earth is basking in its success, and Leo takes center stage in full theatrical spotlight. When the sun transitions through Leo, work spells for confidence, courage, creativity, fame, goals, influence, public speaking, and success. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. The crops are high in the field and ready to be harvested, while the brush on the side of the road is left scorched by the summer sun. Virgo is the transition from the heat of summer into autumn, and the preparation that must be done to survive the dark winter ahead. When the sun transitions through Virgo, work spells for clarity, details, employment, financial planning, foundations, healing, precision, and research. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. Flower petals begin to curl and brown, and leaves fall like confetti on the sidewalks. The crops have all been harvested, and there is no more work to do in the fields. The earth is now resting, regenerating. We are halfway between the searing hot days of summer and the frigidly cold days of winter. Libra arrives in a garland of scarlet and gold to teach us to work in balance with nature, like leaves blending in harmonious autumnal hues. The sun enters Libra on the autumnal equinox and marks the beginning of fall. When the sun transitions through Libra, work spells for balance, creativity, justice, legal matters, new love, new projects, partnerships, and truth. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. The temperature grows colder with each passing day as the earth descends into darkness. Earth's more delicate creations begin to die, and the elements take a significant toll on those strong enough to survive. The foliage that was new and green only months ago will soon fall to the earth and decompose, and it is from this death that new life will regenerate in the spring. This profoundly transformational period is Scorpio, and it lives in a never-ending metamorphosis of death and rebirth. When the sun transitions through Scorpio, work spells for emotional problems, inner work, ancestors, psychic abilities, protection, banishing, transformation, and secrets. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Most of the day is washed in sable brown, stormy gray, and finally midnight black. Night arrives sooner each day and lingers long into the morning, when frost begins to coat the ground. Survival now depends on foresight and vision. The wind stings, and the frigid cold brings the warmth out of Sagittarius. When the sun transitions through Sagittarius, work spells for business, cooperation, expanding, growth, healing, meditation, publishing, removing obstacles, and travel. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. The newly fallen snow sparkles and crunches like sugar underfoot. It may be winter, but it is beautiful. A deep cold settles across the earth. The land looks desolate as life above and below has gone into hibernation. Life lies dormant in the branches of each barren tree. The sun enters Capricorn on the winter solstice and marks the beginning of winter. When the sun transitions through Capricorn, work spells for ambition, banishing debt, boundaries, elimination, foundation, health, organization, structure, and endurance. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. Now is the coldest time of the year, but there is a freshness in the air of midwinter. Deep below the surface of the frozen earth, the roots are beginning to prepare for new life. The weather does not permit for anything practical to be done. Instead, it is a time to discuss ideas, plan for the future, and devise inventions. During the darkest point of the year, light comes from Aquarius. When the sun transitions through Aquarius, work spells for clarity, friendships, inspiration, invention, advancement, social events, problem solving, and the greater good. And last but not least, Pisces, February 19th to March 20th. The soft, loamy earth is damp with the spring thaw. The rivers appear still, but under their blanket of ice, they're flowing free. The days are lengthening as the temperature starts to rise alongside the feelings of hope and optimism Pisces has for the future. This adaptable sign guides us into the new cycle with its intuitive understanding of the natural order and ultimately shows us that life continues. When the sun transitions through Pisces, work spells for art, cleansing, dreams, psychic abilities, and reconnecting with your spiritual path. That was a walk through the zodiac signs and how I interact with them in my own practice. They're the bones of my wheel and the foundation of which everything else is built. Next, I take into consideration my physical location. I have already made a really thorough video about this. It is called Connecting to the Land That You Live On, and it is all about regional witchcraft. I highly recommend that you watch that video after this one. I purposely put it up before, so it would be there for you when you finish this one. It is such an important aspect of building your own wheel and deserves its own video. But think for a moment about the cycles that you see reflected in the nature and the land around you. Here in Miami, we have hurricane season, where at any time Mother Nature can conjure up an unrelenting force of nature that causes major devastation to the land. Year after year, the local flora and fauna expect it coming and plan accordingly. Birds will migrate away during that point in the year. A lot of sea creatures will base their mating season upon this, so their young is strong enough in order to evacuate if need be when the time comes. This is also a tropical monsoon climate. We have a wet and a dry season, the wet being the summers and the winter being the dry. In fact, it is pouring rain outside right now. This is one way I can see spring has sprung here in a place where seasonal changes are not very visible. And all of these things are reflected in my Wheel of the Year. I also pay attention to when local crops ripen. The orange harvest is November through April. Avocados are May and June. I am moving to Washington State at the end of the year, which has made this a little complicated for me because life feels so in transit, but I'm learning to be okay with that. And I look forward to that aspect of my wheel changing again and discovering what that has in store for me. Next, heritage and ancestry. Speaking of topics that deserve their own video, whatever culture or tradition you belong to is going to influence your wheel. Recently, there has been a huge pull to folk traditions within the magical community as people connect back to their roots, the cultural beliefs and practices held by their ancestors. I am in the practice of doing this as well, and it has brought up a lot of questions for me. Who are my ancestors? Do I have a right to reclaim their practices? Do their practices even still apply to me and make sense for me to use if I am living a totally different life in a totally different place than they did? Folk magic is all about connecting to the land that you live on. So they would have been using plants, for example, that were from their area. If I don't live there, does it really make sense if I order them off the internet in order to incorporate into my practice? I am trying to answer these now, and I will keep you posted on that. But if you have these answers for yourself, I think it's a wonderful way to deepen your practice and connect to those that came before you. I just want to remind you that it's important that you have a thorough understanding of the cultural and religious significance of the practices you use within your spirituality. Through education, you can make informed decisions about what is most ethical and responsible for you to use in your practice. And that's what I'm doing right now. Witchcraft is a lifelong practice, and I don't have all of the answers today, but that is where I'm at. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. To keep up with me between uploads, there is a link down below to all of my other platforms, as well as to join my Discord, buy my book, or book an astrology reading with me. So until next time, have a magical rest of your day, blessed be, and goodbye, everyone.